your fafa on the side.
Good afternoon and happy Monday, everybody, and welcome to another edition and another week of Mike Mayo's Lunchbox, streaming to you live on the South Florida Live channel. Also simulcast every day on the Let's Eat South Florida Facebook group, 95,000 strong, actually 94 and change, but we'll round up. It's close enough. We're here today for another remote edition from one of my favorite places with one of my favorite people. We're at Shenanigan's East Side Pub with Pat Utter, the man himself, and it's a perfect place to come to kind of lick the wounds along with our fingers after eating chicken wings of a great weekend of football, all kinds of football, Dolphins football, World Cup football, that other kind, and it's just been a fantastic sports weekend. And I spent Saturday night here watching that second half of the Dolphins game, which was a pretty entertaining affair. Right here at Shenanigans. So welcome to the show again, Pat. How are you?
Glad to be here. Love when you guys come. My understanding is that we're going to talk about some notable sports things that happen, as well as.
Oh yeah,
You sound depressed.
No, I'm not depressed. Listen,
I know you're a happy man, and you know you sound.
Oh, there we go. We got food now.
How can you be depressed when this comes
bring
out?
the food. There's no more
food.
depression. Not when when we get hit with lunch on the lunchbox. And
so we have the Shenanigans platter.
That is the Shenanigans platter. Do you want to tell the fine folks what we have on that platter here?
Well, it's pretty much one of the top tier selections. You got your loaded potato skins, real potatoes that we make up,
which I love.
And my chicken wings, the difference between them, no hormones, no steroids,
nice,
all natural, jumbo roaster, and some hand breaded homemade fried mozzarella instead of those little sticks everybody buys.
That looks great.
We cut that right off the block, and then we hand bread it. Italian breadcrumbs.
Nice.
And what do you got over here?
The special of the day.
What do I usually love to get when I'm here? What's the daily fish special today?
We always have fresh mahi, 5 days a week.
Well, this is actually the yellowtail.
Yellowtail. Okay,
yeah,
good.
Which is
good choice. Good choice. That's courtesy of a local fisherman, local caught. And that sandwich there is one of my favorites. Got a little arugula. We got it.
Yeah, arugula, a little bit of the garlic aioli.
Spread the infield.
And again, that arugula gives it that classy touch. And I love the buns. You kind of have that bulky roll, the Kaiser roll there. That gives it that nice little handheld. And and you say here at Shenanigans, friends don't let friends eat
frozen fish. Never. We'd rather 86 an item. Matter of fact, we don't eat frozen hamburger. We don't eat frozen prime rib. We don't eat frozen chicken. None of our product other than shrimp, which you have to understand, wild caught local shrimp have been diminished. But other than that, that's one of the only few items that we have that we big seller. Everything else is fresh.
And we're here. This is the East Side location, the one that you opened up
15 years ago.
15 years ago. I can't believe 2008.
I like when people refer to it as the new location. I don't feel so old.
The new old.
How's that new place doing? I don't know. Going on year 16 now.
Exactly.
And we're at 1300 South Federal Highway in Dania. It's just kind of in between that Sterling and Sheridan as you head south from the airport. Very conveniently located to the airport for those who are making
2 miles
pickups at this time of year. If your party is getting in from wintry climes very much late after, having to shovel through snow and sleet, this is the place to come for late night dining if everybody is famished after getting off a delayed plane. I'm not saying Spirit Airlines is always delayed, but usually sometimes. But you come in here, the kitchen is open. How late, Pat?
We keep the kitchen open till 3:00 in the morning.
That's late.
And
that's even late for me to celebrate my poker wins. Right. I could come in here.
Well. And how many times does that happen?
It actually happened last night, believe it or not.
Listen, we only need to be open like once a month for you to celebrate your poker win. I love poker, but my winning has been a little lax.
I've had a little rough stretch, but last night I had the best kind where you just bet a little because there's the little tournament over at the Mardi Gras Big Easy, what used to be the dog track. $30 investment got me a $550 return. So that was a good night of poker.
One of the greatest quotes of all time, both of us being handicappers and loving watching the Sport of Kings, the excitement of horse racing, I feel it's unparalleled, and it just feels great. And a friend of mine who fashions himself an intellectual came and joined me once at the table, and I was going through the horses and talking to him and this and that. And he's an avid poker player. Well, he threw $20 in a pool, like what you said, and he sat with me and my friend Tony, and we were here. And I said, "Listen, I want to put Johnny V. He's running this big long shot. Yeah, I got to throw him in here in the mix." So we mixed 4 horses up. Anyway, make a long story short, the race was under question. Well, he got a little antsy. He got up and said, "Listen, I don't understand how you do this horse racing. I play poker. I want to bet on things I can
think he
count on the outcome." Yeah, I told you this story, right?
Well,
he can control. He can control. He's a very high, intellectual lawyer, type A guy.
Yeah.
So anyway, they took the horse and they were waiting for an inquiry came in. They brought Johnny V in, and they brought the first horse down, and they moved Johnny V to first place, and it paid off a $60 bet. $6,000. Okay. $6,000. Okay.
Wow.
So we mixed it up. So I looked
him.
at my friend after he had stormed away, and I said, "Do you think we should go back and find him?" I think he should stick to poker. He controls poker. Everybody knows that.
Yeah, there you go.
Ego doesn't.
I seem
Yeah, I
to
was gonna
not be
say,
able to
yeah.
control
I was like,
the
what control?
river card
Yeah,
a lot.
that's what
the
I'm trying
problem.
to. That's the
And the
component.
thing we love about the track is because you can bet a little to win a lot, just
I
like that
love that.
happened.
I love that.
And
That's why you see those guys there with their 10-cent supers, and they're all, and they got this one on top, and it can pay big money. You get a long shot in there. It's really nice.
Okay, cool. Well, we do love our gambling, and in that vein, well, first of all, we got an action-packed show today. In a couple of minutes, we're going to be joined with my longtime former colleague at the Sun Sentinel in the sports department, Dave Hyde, who's obviously a brilliant writer, a long-time, I guess, observer of the South Florida sports scene. He's also now a multiple author of books, and he just released, he co-authored and helped out Jimmy Johnson with this book that just came out called Swagger. And I talked to Dave this morning. He said the sales are doing okay. It just barely missed the New York Times bestseller list status, but he said it made one of the USA Today lists. So they're pleased with the way the sales are going. It makes a great stocking stuffer. So for the sports fan in your family, it's Jimmy Johnson recounting tales of his football career and also life. Dave was telling me, he got into some of the personal stuff. He has a son who has been battling alcoholism, and some of these things that are more universal that all of us can relate to. And so Swagger is in bookstores and also available, I'm sure, at all the major online retailers, Amazon.com. But I'll let Dave do the plugging in a little bit when he joins us. But the other order of business we have, and this I'm going to have to enlist you, Pat.
Okay.
So, we have our weekly Gulfstream Friday shows now. And in conjunction with going out there, we are running a weekly contest where we give away 2 Sunday brunch vouchers at 10 Palms Restaurant overlooking the track.
Excellent.
The man Joe Beja, who is that show there. Joe is the food and beverage director. He's come on the last few weeks. He actually brought out some new menu items last week that were delicious, including this onion, like a deconstructed onion soup tower that had a tower of onion rings with melted Gruyere and Parmesan on top, and then it was
what a class act both of those guys are.
Yeah,
they run a really nice place.
Yeah, Joe and of course Dave Joseph, our friend. Yep. Anyway, we do a contest now where we combine food and restaurant trivia along with horse race selections. So last week, let me see if you get this one. I want to see if he gets it. With the clues were for the trivia of the food and restaurant that this place, it combined Hollywood, California star power along with local South Florida nautical beauty, and you didn't need a passport to get to go cruising for a good meal. It was also, we called it a casualty of the 9/11 attacks because it was forced to close the following year.
It's got to be my favorite Burton Jacks.
Yeah, you got it. You got it.
That was my are you kidding me? Normandy Isle, but my beautiful bride of 23 years. That was my that was my go-to place. Jack Jackson partners with Burt and Jack's. I don't think it's ever, I've been all over the world and restaurants are my thing.
Yeah.
I don't think it's ever been duplicated. Matter of fact,
Jack Jackson,
yeah,
one of a classy
incredible.
guy.
And he had a guy, Randy Palmer and Marty Jackson. It was the waiter. They were a tandem that was unbelievable running the place.
Very good. No, it's been gone. I can't believe 20 years. It closed in June of 2002. Jack Jackson went on to open a couple of other
lobster bar. That was his beauty.
Well, before
Subway
those lobster
Tile, all
ball,
that,
it was called, I think, Jackson's Steakhouse.
Yep.
And then after that, ended up moving on along. Then Jack opened up Jackson's Prime in that near the Gulf.
Are you trying to tell me something? Just stay in my lane.
No.
You just, he was a victim of a bad surgery. I sat out there by that fire pit and would sip Grand Marnier and watch. It was one of the most just perfect spots.
Oh, it was great. And that baked stuffed lobster, it was beautiful. He had that. The Oak Room was the private dining area.
Does anybody know the component in that baked stuffed lobster, which I knock off to this day?
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
I don't know. Did it have some crab meat along with breadcrumbs and cheese?
See, everybody says breadcrumbs. And I don't like giving this out on the air. Ritz crackers.
Oh,
Ritz. That's what Mickey Moore made fun of him.
Wicked Cheesesteaks. Our man Brian at Wicked Cheesesteaks also makes a Ritz cracker crumble in his lobster mac and cheese, and it's great. It's a New England thing.
Let's not share that. You have that food network of 94,000 people.
Yeah,
I just gave one of my go-to secrets. I love when people come to me with different components.
Oh yeah,
and keep that in mind. That is the Ritz crackers
is one of those things that you don't think is going to work.
Yeah, but it's
works
good. Yeah.
to make things crunchy,
buttery
especially
and nice
in a seafood casserole.
Yep.
All right. So anyway, you got the trivia portion of it. Restaurants. Then,
imagine that.
Then
food, gambling, and sports.
And then we have the second component was asking people to come up with the winner, either the number or the name of the winner of Saturday's featured stakes. It was the H. Allen Jerkins handicap. It was supposed to be 2 miles on the turf. A monsoon descended right before the races started, knocked it off the turf, and it made it 1 mile and 5/8.
Whoa.
But nevertheless, we had a bunch of people that guessed the correct winner, which I don't know if you had it on Saturday. Number 10, Value Engineering, went off at 5-1. I think a Chad Brown horse. Claravich Stables, for those who follow the races, one of the top outfits. And he was able to handle the Tapeta track instead of the turf. And Value Engineering was the winner. And that means we had
who was up on him?
So it was, I think, Irad Ortiz. He's one of
good jocks are coming down here.
They're here already because the Gulfstream's Championship meet officially begins the day after Christmas on Boxing Day, the 26th.
I'm ready.
But they're all already here.
To join us on our Friday.
All the top barns. So anyway, I'm going to have you do the honors in the Dolphins hat. The 7 people who correctly answered Burt and Jack's and correctly picked number 10 are now alive to win the 2 vouchers to 10 Palms for any given Sunday that they want to between now and April 1st, which is when the championship meet concludes with the Florida Derby.
And those that win cannot win for 90 days.
Yeah, and they can't win for another 90 days. I've folded over the email slips of all 7 winners. I'm going to shake them around. I'm going to give it the little lottery shake, and I'm going to have my man Pat Utter pick out a winning slip. And then we're going to announce the winner right here live on the Lunchbox.
It was Pat Utter from Shenanigans?
No.
Fix. Hold on a second.
Here we go.
Look here.
You need your readers?
No, I got it.
Okay. Who's the winner?
Ira Rubin.
Congratulations,
Ira.
He had Burt and Jack's. He had number 10 Value Engineering. And now you have a pair of vouchers, all inclusive, to 10 Palms Restaurant at beautiful Gulfstream Park that you can go for any Sunday brunch buffet that they have. It will include the full buffet, 1 mimosa, and tax and tip. You're always free to order more alcohol, but that's on your own dime. And you're always free to tip your servers a little bit more generously if you feel like it. But congratulations, Ira Rubin. I will be sending you a email with all the details of how you go about redeeming that when you go up to 10 Palms. All right. Well, we got that first.
Reuben. You ever have one of my Reubens?
I did. And it's excellent.
That's one of my go-to.
It's excellent.
You can't have an Irish, you can't have a deli, and you can't have a Irish-themed sports bar without
a Reuben. And it's funny.
We had it the last I tried that
that's the
last time.
sandwich. I go in places and I look for it. I'm like, this is pre-cooked corned beef.
Well,
You can't have that. This is we make it ourselves.
Oh, you
Wow,
see
good
it
for
all.
you.
Yeah, you guys have so much
Yeah.
pride in everything you do, and a lot of people don't realize that Pat comes from a fine dining background. He used to work at kitchens of some of the top restaurants around here in Hollywood, and then when he decided to open up his own sports pub, he said, "I'm not going to cut corners. I'm going to use fresh quality ingredients and make it a little bit elevated, like this beautiful fish sandwich that I'll get to
it.
in a minute." But we just wanted to say so. Joe down at Gulfstream, by popular demand, they just added a Reuben sandwich to the 10 Palms menu. He brought it out on Friday.
It's a
and it
nice
was
sandwich.
Very
I'm
satisfying
gonna have to talk
sandwich.
to Joe about that.
It was a nice sandwich.
He's not gonna. It can't be
Oh, look who's-
pre-cooked.
I don't
I'm
have
sorry.
video.
We're gonna have
Well,
to
you
check
know,
it.
I'm not going to get into the nitty-gritty of the prep, but I enjoyed it for lunch. It was a very satisfying sandwich, along with that onion ring tower.
Joe called me for gift certificates for his staff.
Yeah,
and they come here.
Oh,
So
good.
I'm very fortunate to be in this area.
Joe's a good dude.
Yeah, great guy.
All right, so is Hyde on the line yet, or
I see him appearing. I don't know if I see him. Per
All right.
se,
Well, you want to
but
see if we could throw it to him, and if he exists,
I
well,
see
welcome to the
blackness.
Lunchbox. Maybe Dave
We
Hyde.
hear you.
Was there a blackout? Did you forget to pay the FPL bill this month, Dave? Hello, can you hear me? Hello?
I can hear you, Mike. Hello.
Okay, I can't see you. Can
your
you hear
camera's
us?
Not,
Or
So how do I? I'm hammer here on your.
What's that?
Your-
Well, you're on the air now, so don't curse. And,
it's better to hear me and not see me. Trust me.
Well,
I mean-
I'm the one who didn't shave this morning. I'm looking a little rough around the edges. But Dave Hyde, welcome to the Lunchbox. Are you on a computer that has like an internet connection, or where are you now? Or are you in an undisclosed location?
But if it's easier, I'm on my phone. But if it's easier on my computer, I could do that.
Oh, that's try to video stream through the phone. That will never work. That would be good. And you know what? We'll take our first break, Dave, and then we'll come back. Hopefully, we'll get things sorted out. But before we go to that first break, I got to tell everybody about the perfect stocking stuffer for the foodie in your life. The Visit Lauderdale Food and Wine Festival is coming up the early part of January. It's actually taking place January 9th to the 15th, all over various venues and restaurants in Fort Lauderdale. And our good friends Kate and Phil are getting things organized, and you're going to want to check it out. Go to vlfoodwine.com. That's VL, like Visit LauderdaleFoodWine.com, for the full rundown of events. And they have some private dinners, but some specialty dinners around town in the early part of the week. And then there's the big three events, which you want to get tickets to right now. There's the cocktail connoisseur competition that's going to be on Wednesday, January 11th. There's going to be the Smithfield Barbecue Battle. That's taking place at the Hyatt Centric Hotel in downtown Fort Lauderdale on the evening of Friday, January 13th. And then there's the big grand tasting at the Las Olas beachfront park there, A1A and the beach. And that's going to be all day on Saturday, the 14th of January. You go on to the vlfoodwine.com website, click on your tickets, and put in the put in the promo code Lunchbox to get an additional 15% off the already low ticket prices. It makes a great gift for the food lover in your life. Or, you know what? Just treat yourself, because after the holidays, it's going to be a great old time. The weather is usually perfect. So many good bites from local and national restaurants and wineries and distilleries. So vlfoodwine.com. Get your tickets now. And remember to use the promo code Lunchbox for additional savings.
This is Mike Mayo's Lunchbox live on a Shenanigans Monday from Shenanigan Sports Pub with the one and only Patrick Utter. Coming up next, best-selling author, or soon-to-be best-selling author. We're calling him a best-selling author. He will be your best-selling author.
I see him now. Thank God.
Soon enough, the one and only Dave Hyde joins us here on Mike Mayo's Lunchbox live from Shenanigans Sports Pub, Dania Beach.
People come to me and say, Mike, where should I go out to eat? I got guests coming from out of town. Where should we go? Cafe Seville. That's the answer. 2768 East Oakland Park Boulevard. It's a Fort Lauderdale perennial, serving the finest in Spanish and continental cuisine in a cozy, friendly, comfortable setting. Joey Esposito and Sally, his better half, they've been running the place for a long time. It's been open since the 1980s. They got great Spanish classics like paella, shrimp with garlic sauce, and all kinds of great seafood dishes. The stuffed veal chop, oh, that's my favorite. Go to Cafe Seville. It's open every day but Sunday at 5 p.m. for dinner. Tell them that the Lunchbox Mayo and Defo sent you. Do you like burgers? Do you like wings? Do you like late night food and sports on big screen TVs and cold beer and friendly vibe and great people? Then you want to check out Shenanigans. For 30 years, they've been doing a great job. The original location, West Side, 3303 Sheridan Street, just across from TY Park in Hollywood. And there's the East Side location, 1300 South Federal Highway in Dania Beach. You go to Shenanigans, you get yourself all the good stuff, the fresh fish every day, the black and grilled wings, and of course, the kitchens are open late in both locations. Go there, tell them that the Lunchbox Mayo and Defo sent. We're back on the Lunchbox, and guess what? Caught me with my mouth full, as usual.
Shocker.
I hope I don't choke, but we're here at Shenanigans
don't
East Side
Defo's
Sports Pub
almost
with
dying.
Pat Utter, who is a Dolphins fan extraordinaire. And I'm going to put on my Dolphins cap now because,
You actually have a Dolphins cap?
yeah, that's
Wow, look at you.
in honor of Pat and the
Who
team
knew?
and Hyde coming on today.
And
Wow.
it doesn't say screw you on it.
I
or
ended
anything
up
like that.
putting got my dolphin hat, which I'll adjust and flip my headset over or something like that. But anyway, without further ado, I'm a mess. I'm just a Monday mess here. But Dave Hyde, we used to run around together. We used to run around to Buffalo together, and then sometimes have to dig ourselves out of the parking lot using just a little toothbrush scraper that the rental
This
car
Saturday
agency
would have been
gave
that.
us. But you have made the wise veteran move, I understand, this past week. You avoided duty in Buffalo. You just kind of wrote your columns off the aftermath. How are you today, Dave?
I'm well, and much better not having been in Buffalo this weekend. Trust me.
Did you get reports from Furones and Perkins? Like,
Oh,
did they?
yeah,
Did you see that?
I saw their video after the game in the snow where Perk looks like his nose was going to just crack off his face. It was so cold, you know. I mean, so I'm glad we've done that. We did that time. I probably should have known this was your future when you would always – you'd be ordering the wine, or we'd go to the Anchor Bar.
That was the tradition. You had to, no matter what time of day or night, but they closed up early on Sundays, but we'd usually sneak in there right before closing time, get ourselves a big old plate of wings, and they also had Italian food. And I would get the wine. And that was when the newspapers had travel budgets and expense accounts. And that was such a great time.
And Buffalo was new and adventurous at the point, too. Now it's like too many years. I've done my time.
Then we got to Nagano and Sydney when we really saw what the world is all about. Hey, there's Chris. Hey, do you know Pat Utter? Dave, have you ever been up here to Shenanigan Sports Bar?
I haven't. Nice to see you, Pat.
It's in my hood. He's a big fan of yours. And,
Nobody's really a fan. I'm a huge fan of yours. As a matter of fact, a throwback to the old school. I get not only your column, I go through it in the old school paper, but I actually send in a little Christmas gift to my news carrier, so he makes sure he gets it to me in the morning. So I have a Kindle and I have the computer, but I still love reading your
like
column.
Defo.
Pat is old school. All right, so
Man,
let's
after
get
the-
into.
I say anybody subscribing old school like that, we should deliver a cup of coffee with the paper in the morning.
You know what's ironic about being in the restaurant industry all this time? You have to have a bad sleep pattern. So I wake up typically around 5:30 to 6 o'clock in the morning, and so I can't just say because I'm old now. It's always been like this. Walk the dogs, my routine, and I wait for the paper. And I'm just like my dad. I just immediately take everything off. Indictment to Trump, this, and that. Where's the sports page? Where's your article?
Tremendous.
And I go right to it. So
Wow.
I think you do
Wow,
the
I love
most
it.
fantastic. You're so spot on in today's column. It's just
thanks.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so-
we need about 200,000 more people like you, Pat. Right now. That'd be good for the business.
We got 94,000 on the Let's Eat food group. Unfortunately, we don't charge any subscriptions. So, but
if you had 200,000, like he has the 94,000 on the Let's Eat, right? So you're probably my friend acquiesced, but you're probably in highest regard to any sports fan with your column. Could you imagine if you had 94,000 of us people that also critiqued everything you did online? How'd you like that for an industry? I tell people, I'm not a Tom Cruise. I'm not Brad Pitt here. What do I care what you tell me what I do with
Well,
my
he
video?
does have that. It's called Twitter.
Yes,
so
yes.
Yeah.
Impervious
That's
to it.
why on the road I'm sitting next to people. And you go, "What do you do?" I tell them I'm an architect because I don't want to get into a conversation where they know more sports than I do. You know,
That's funny. That's funny. Hey, so Dave, let's get before we talk about Swagger and the Jimmy Johnson project and letting you promote and plug away, but we want to get into some of the football stuff. The Dolphins, obviously, another loss. Now they're a streaky team. They win 3, they lose 3, they win 5, they lose 3, and it might be the losses might keep piling up. What do you make of where this team is at, and where are they in terms of what the expectations were going into the year? Is this year so far a success, or is it poised to be a failure, or how do you define success for this team?
Well, it's first of all, the game Saturday night, losing that, I wrote, there's no shame in losing to Buffalo 32-29 and the way they played. That was a good game, and they demanded Josh Allen to be a beast at the end, and that's what he can do. The previous 2 losses weren't good. If they played like they in the previous 2, like they did Saturday night, their season would be a little different right now. So, it's a good season so far, not just from the standpoint that, they're trending towards the playoffs, but Tua Tagovailoa, the quarterback who we come into the year with all sorts of questions. They're different questions now, but there's no question he's taken a huge step forward, a progressive step forward.
Hill and Waddle, but
yeah. I mean, look, he's not the be all end all that a lot of his fans think. Okay, but where he is because of Micah McDaniel, part the system and the better cast around him, but in part he's playing better too. And if he can keep that step next year, take another step, then you're getting closer to what you're saying. Okay, this guy can be the answer. I'm not ready to say that. There's, you saw the answer. What a guy with the answer was Saturday night. Josh Allen, he passed, he ran, he did whatever the moment called for to win the game. And there's only a few of those in the game.
And the previous week, the same thing. We saw another big time quarterback, and the one that Tua inevitably gets compared to because they went in the same draft in terms of Justin Herbert, but also kind of outclassed Tua that night and was throwing rifles and strikes. But as much as we focus on the offense, isn't it the defense that's the real villain here? Because giving up that touchdown right before halftime, and then you have the lead on the road, and they just allow Buffalo to march down the field and kick. So who's the real culprit here?
Well, the culprit. Okay, so yeah, there was a pattern of the last 2 games. Both teams scored on the last play of the first half, a touchdown, and both teams took a long march at the end. It was 8 minutes for the Chargers, 6 minutes to the end of the game to the Bills, that effectively sold the game away and won it from week to week. So. You can point fingers at the Dolphins defense here and there. They are going against, again,
some top flight talent
on the road against 2 good quarterbacks, one great quarterback when he's at the top of his game like he was Saturday. So I mean, there's room to criticize the defense. At the same time, in today's NFL, a lot of times, in a big game like that, it comes down to, and I hate to say it, but which quarterback makes the great plays at the end. Not good plays, great plays.
But as you pointed out in today's column, which Pat was alluding to, and it was great, is that it wasn't necessarily the throwing. Shouldn't they have just been playing like
That's what I was
smash
going
mouth
to say to
football? They
him.
were running so effectively
Yeah.
early in the game, and the lines seemed to be dominating both lines of scrimmage. And instead, like you said, they got a little cutesy and they're playing all these like little namby-pamby plays
for no
instead of
reason.
saying smash mouth football when it's 3rd and short or 4th and all that stuff.
Yeah. I thought, especially when you look back at it and you saw, first of all, Mike McDaniel. I should start this. Mike McDaniel, his system is so good. It's had guys running free all. And the way he's done it, it surprised me how he's changed a lot of the things. Now, there's a second guess there Saturday night that they got too cute. There's the same second guess against the Chargers where they were so pass happy that part of me questioned, okay, are they trying to one up Justin Herbert to show Tua is better by making it pass all this downfield so much?
Interesting.
But yeah, you go back and you look, and a few of those plays, which is what Saturday night came down to, a few of those plays on 3rd and short, I'm sure they'd want back again and say, okay, we're running the ball. Let's try to run it up the middle, between the guards, which was what they had going was a great philosophy because they hadn't really done that much this year. And you saw Buffalo pounded it when they needed to.
Yes.
Of course, they pounded it a lot of times with Josh Allen.
Right, because he can run and he's a big
He's a
bruiser.
big dude.
Hey, Pat, you got a question for Dave or any comments about as a long-suffering Dolphins fan and former?
I have a somewhat different approach to I look at the Dolphins as entertainment. Okay, I sit there and I'm never bored watching them. Okay, because the components that they brought up are all true, right? I mean, we've been analyzing these guys. I mean, we keep going back to the 72 Dolphins when I would travel
That's
down
50
there.
years
and
written the book on them.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Literally.
Yeah, the 50-year Dolphins. And I love the fact that I read your book, Swagger, and I used to sit there in futility and say, why wasn't the Dolphin organization taking the University of Miami players out of the feeder zone? We had Miami Central and all the great local high schools feeding the U of M. Then U of M Johnson was taking them to the next level. So to me, this has been my life for 50 years.
And good for you. I agree. This year, and I guess when I was talking about McDaniel's system, it's fun to watch. It's an entertaining product they have this year.
Right.
They're not only winning. They've been in dramatic games and throwing the ball downfield with Tyreek Hill. It's good entertainment.
It is. That's what it comes down
and
to.
It's frustrating at times when you think they're good and a top, a top level elite team that could possibly win a division and get a bye, and then you see them fall back to earth. But I think if anybody at the beginning of the year with a rookie coach and so many questions around too would say, hey, would you settle for being a playoff team, even if it's a 6 seed or whatever? I think most fans would have taken it, especially when you have an exciting product and it's watchable and it's not like you're trying to go back to the ticket windows and say this stinks, the errors of Cam Cameron and whatnot, right?
Something happened to me. I actually was very fortunate to know Dan Marino and that team on a personal level back in the day. I actually flew out to San Diego, which a huge horseman and a great sports fan, Johnny Sessa, took me on his plane out to San Diego when they turned out the lights and the out there in San Diego and
playoff game,
playoff game. So I can remember being young and passionate. And I was staying there at the same hotel, and something just left me when Darius Rucker came up with the Dolphins Make Me Cry. I just said, "This is my song.
It's what they do.
I've been singing this song 50 years. This is what I played on the jukebox." Anybody who thinks that component it's like when they brought the GOAT to the Chicago Cubs. They put the Dolphins Make You Cry. Let's just get used to it after 50 years.
Well,
I don't know why.
It's
any different.
It's hard to imagine the Dolphins haven't won a playoff game since 2000 season. I mean, it's just staggering to think. And from my side of it, and Mike, you were like, I meet these good people when the elevator is going down on their careers. You know,
They
it's
don't
like I
care.
got to write about.
It's like
It'd
New
be
Year's
so,
Eve.
you know, the Patriots writers are writing books about their teams and everything,
yeah.
and I'm writing who the next coach will be.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. And you know,
It's
they
tough.
follow. Listen, I always say, I was on a cruise and I couldn't get away from this guy that wanted to chase me around because I intentionally wore dolphin garb with a lot of New Englanders. They were on the cruise, and so he was chasing me around. I'm like, I'm impervious to this. I understand. I know.
Well, yeah,
I'm
if you're
Irish.
walking around a cruise with
Yeah,
the
but
Dolphins gear,
with
you're
people
obviously
from-
a masochist.
Everybody's from New York or New Jersey.
Masochist.
No, I did it intentionally. I know what I'm doing. What do you think? I own a bar. I'm Irish. What do you, I thrive on
a
this.
bar named
I
Shenanigans.
thrive on
Exactly,
It
and you
says
call it
mischief,
Shenanigans.
right?
Yeah, mischief.
Yeah.
I
Hey,
mean-
Dave, real quick, do you have any predictions how the last four are going to
Last
wait,
three,
we're down to
last
three.
three,
We're down
last
to
three.
three.
Yeah,
How it's going to play out?
I think they win. They're going to win 2 or 3. They go to the playoffs. Probably a rough playoff game on the road, and if I'm predicting they lose that, and everybody calls it a good step forward, and let's see what happens next
So
year.
you see them beating the Packers and you see them beating the Jets at home in the final game? Okay.
Oh yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah,
I don't
probably
know.
one of the final 2. Obviously, in New England, you would think would be the tougher one, although
After yesterday,
Belichick has lost the team. When they had to play like that yesterday, where
When are we
they're
going to
throwing
debate
the ball all over the field?
quarterback or the coach with Tom Brady? He
oh,
went and got
well,
a
both
Super
are a
Bowl
disaster
ring
right now.
in
That's it.
Tampa.
But that
And how
Patriots ending,
Belichick do by himself, left alone?
that Patriots ending was wild.
That was beautiful.
Hey, a couple of things that we want to get into, and thank you for your time. We're here with Dave Hyde on the Lunchbox. Sorry for all the non-sports fans, food fan out there. Let me ask Dave a quick food question. What was the best meal you've had on the road this year?
Well, I was going to hit you up with. I think we had beef on weck once in Buffalo, but
Those Kemmelweck buns with the
Serious.
caraway seeds and the salt and all that stuff.
absolutely.
It's like
Arteries are hardening just talking about it.
All right, let's get into some other stuff. First of all, you know, the World Cup was fantastic, but I heard rumors beforehand that Messi might end up at Inter Miami next year. Is this still the case? What the heck is going on? Is that
The New York Times reported before the World Cup that it was in play and, you know, in motion. It's going to happen. Now, this has been a story that's been around for a while. And I'm not discounting it. I guess the question is, when would it happen? Would Messi retire now? Would he go out like John Elway winning the Super Bowl and leaving, you know, or you know, because it's such a step down from the level of soccer he's playing right now to Inter Miami. Okay. And ultimately, does he want to do that now? Does he has a chance? What, Ronaldo has a $75 million offer from Saudi Arabia to play there.
right?
Inter Miami can pay like $6 million.
Yeah, but what I understand and the theory here floating. First of all, I don't understand why teams in Europe wouldn't still want him. He showed that he still has
he was the best
some
player
talent
on
and value
Argentina.
on the pitch this throughout the World Cup. But be that as it may, I've heard things to the effect that he might just want to live a more sedate yet lucrative lifestyle in South Florida, and that he also got basically got a huge endorsement deal with Saudi Arabia to help them land the World Cup in 2030. Again, like a 10-figure deal or whatever. I don't even know. Not billions, but like a 9-figure deal, like $100 million. And that he has all the money he needs. And now he might, as a favor to David Beckham, come down here and just kind of chill out and live a glamorous lifestyle and be able to cash in all kinds of promotions and advertisements in the American Latino market.
I mean, we'll follow him.
But
I'll
who
tell
knows?
you right now.
I mean, but
Yeah, who knows? Ultimately, what does he want to do? Does he want to semi-retire baseball and be you know, he could dominate in the MLS, but is that what he wants to do at this point? Or is he saying, you know, I'm 35, it's time, I can tell my game's starting to slip in my mind, you know, I've had enough of it. And so let's go to, he has a place evidently in Miami. And so this has been a conversation, a rumor, whispers for a couple years that it's going to happen. The question is this the right time?
as a local sports columnist, do you want him here?
I love it. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding?
I was gonna say I haven't paid attention at all,
Okay.
and I would be at tons of games, and
Yeah.
I haven't paid attention at all. To
They
what's
would
going on.
The question would be, should they play at the Fort Lauderdale Park, or would they move to
The Pro
obviously
Players
Hard
Stadium.
Rock or
Yeah,
Yeah, Hard
whatever
Rock.
it's called.
Yeah, Hard
Rock Stadium.
that'd
You
be
try pink is 5,000 seats.
I would think a legitimate issue.
Try pink is 18,000. Okay.
Yeah, no, it's going to be interesting. All right, let's get into Swagger and Jimmy Johnson. Just talk a little bit about how you got involved with the project and where it's led and how it's doing.
Yeah, first of all, for Pat, I got my 72 Dolphin book here.
There you
that was fun. I
50
updated
years.
that.
I actually went. I was in high school and I actually volunteered. I didn't care if I made money. I sold souvenirs so I could split between the first and second half with my friend to go down there. That's how diehard I started going down there in '66 on the bus. Yeah, I was there. It was great times.
It's amazing. When I researched it, they put in a bleachers to add 5,000 seats to make it 80,000. Put it over 80,000, and it was sold out every game. And you just compare that to now. It's just staggering that the amount of people and attention that era of football got. But Swagger, let's move on to Swagger.
Okay. How do people get Swagger? Every major bookstore, Amazon.com.
Yeah, and online and wherever you're going to buy a book, it'll be there.
And I didn't get my review copy yet. Do I need to send a special request? Or
I have one. I'll give them mine.
I guess the Daniel Library's up the street.
I'll send you one, Mike.
Okay.
Let's see. So I obviously covered Jimmy, and when he was at the Dolphins more. I met him actually the first time when he was at UM, but when he retired and he started doing, to me, such fascinating, he went on Survivor, which, I love people who expose themselves to something. Here's this famous guy. He ended up throwing up on Survivor, like he got virus or and then I would talk to him and all these people would be visiting, the coaches and general managers. And I did a column once on what do they come to talk to him about? Because his ideas are still relevant. How do you evaluate talent? How do you build a successful organization or business? NBA coaches were coming out. So anyways, before he went in the Super Bowl, I was talking to him and I said, it'd be a good book to put down, not only everything that happened in Dallas, but what do you talk to people about when they come? How do you evaluate? How do you build a business? And then he also talked about, and we've gone on a couple places together, and he's referred to this book as in part an apology to his family, because the sacrifice it took to get up there. Where think of all the thousands of games he watched over a 40-year coaching and playing career. He never saw his sons play. So one son played University of Texas. He never saw him play. And he'd scoff at coaches who took time off to go watch their sons play or be with family because I can get a step ahead of them now. So and one son, Chad, is an alcoholic, and he went down a dark road for years and years, and so that we talked about that. So there was a lot of. That's really how the book came about when I was interested in making it contemporary about his ideas still hold. And there's a lot of stuff to cover in his career from Jerry Jones. Yeah. What happened there when he left Dallas.
Did you try to reach out? And I apologize for not reading it yet, but did you talk to Jerry Jones at all and fill it in? No, this is strictly from Jimmy's point of view.
It's Jimmy's book. It's Jimmy's memoir.
Yes, it's not a journalistic endeavor.
It wasn't it was a weird, I hadn't done a writing venture like that where you are, I think I called it literary ventriloquism, where you are typing the words of. Now Jimmy and I obviously talk plus I get to go down to Isla Mirada to his house a lot, so that wasn't bad either. But it was his memoir and his stories.
Is it it must have been. How long was the process? How long did you spend working on it with him?
Yeah, so it was probably I I told him I'd call him after he was inducted in the Hall of Fame. So before the Hall of Fame, I asked him, "Hey, do you want to do this book?" And he looked in the air for about 3 seconds. He goes, "Okay, let's do it." And I was like, "Whoa, don't you want to think about it for a while?" Well, I didn't realize one of his good friends had been pitching him for to do. So I said I'd talk to him after the Hall of Fame. Well, the Monday after the Hall of Fame, Monday morning after his Hall of Fame weekend, I get a call and it's Jimmy and talking. And so we started then, and we ended the writing process ended probably 8 or 9 months later.
Right. And then it's editing and marketing and all that stuff.
Yeah.
All right. Well, again, everybody go out, get swagger, for
swagger.
the sports fan in your life. A great stocking
Yeah,
stuffer.
Christmas is here. Hanukkah.
Christmas is, and Hanukkah started last night.
Yes,
Happy
sir.
Hanukkah to
Happy
everybody.
Hanukkah, yeah.
I'm going to make my latkes tomorrow. Dave, does the Hyde family have any big holiday eating traditions? What do you got on tap for Christmas Eve and Christmas Day?
So our eating tradition is a friend of ours comes over with a big tub of lasagna, and we have fish, and that's been going on I don't know, 20 years. So
Oh, wow.
our big event is Thanksgiving. We have anywhere from a dozen to 25, 30
Oh, wow.
people in through the years, but this is our big Christmas Eve tradition.
Well, I figured in your neighborhood down in Coral Gables, you might have a friend that does the Noche Buena thing with the pig roast. But have you ever done that? You ever experienced the?
Yeah, we have some Cuban friends. I'm wondering if they've done that. I don't know. The only pig roast I'd done was when my son was in Florida State. For some reason, him and his friends did a pig roast when I was up there one time, and it was nasty. So I think we'll rely on our Cuban friends from now on.
We'll try to keep the grilled dolphins off the menu for a few more weeks.
Exactly.
We hope they could sneak in a couple of wins. Dave, I appreciate the time. Always good to catch up.
Great kid.
You're the man,
Keep
Dave.
your
And,
great.
Talk soon.
We'll talk again later in the season, maybe about the Heat or the Panthers. The Panthers, well, we don't even want to get into that. Right? Hey,
There'll
Merry
be enough time. There's enough time in their season to talk. So,
We'll talk
All right,
soon,
Dave Hyde, everybody, go get swagger, and thank you. And let's take another break on Mike Mayo's Lunchbox from Shenanigans East Side with Pat Utter. Come on out, get your fresh yellowtail snapper sandwiches. They are delicious, along with the wings, burgers, potato skins, whatever you want. Oh, the barbecue smoker is going.
Yes.
The brisket is great. Those brisket sandwiches are tremendous. Shenanigans East Side, 1300 South Federal Highway in Dania Beach, open until 3 a.m. in the morning to satisfy all your hunger and thirst needs. We'll be back on the Lunchbox after these words.
You know, it's funny.
You like pizza? Who doesn't like pizza? Well, my spot for pizza is the Pizza Spot. It's in that little bit hard to find Riverside Park neighborhood of Fort Lauderdale, but it's totally easy to love. It's at 601 Southwest 12th Avenue, New Haven style, a pizza from Wade and Reese. It's a lovely outdoor spot. You could also pick up pies to go at 754-779-7788, 754-779-7788. Again, they're open every day but Monday for lunch and dinner. Some of the best pizza I've ever had. Go to Pizza Spot. They also have subs, salads, and more. Tell them the Gambling Gourmet sent you. If you like seafood in a comfortable setting, outdoors, even keel fish shack at the corner of A1A and Commercial Boulevard in Lauderdale by the Sea, that's my spot. It's upscale food in a down-home setting. The chef owners, Dave and Brad, do a terrific job with all the seafood classics that you want. They have the best grilled oysters in town, bang bang shrimp, lobster rolls, and deli fish specials. They also have weekend brunch Saturday and Sunday. They have deli happy hour 4 to 7, and they also have other weekly specials like mussels on Monday and oysters on Tuesday. Go to Even Keel Fish Shack and tell them that the Lunchbox sent you. Looking for a great place for steaks, seafood, and more? Go to Tropical Acres Steakhouse and Butcher Shop. It's at 2500 Griffin Road in Dania, just west of I-95 in the airport. They've been there a long time, since 1949. That means they're doing something right. You'll get old school hospitality from the Studiali family, along with great value for tremendous service. Of course, you could also go into the bar for happy hour every day, 4 to 6. The early bird special runs from 4:30 to 5:30, and they have great value all night long. Also, a butcher shop that's open every day from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. except Sunday. The dining room is open every day at 4:30 except Sunday. Go to Tropical Acres. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. Hey, it's Mike Mayo. When the Brooklyn boy in me wants a good bagel with Nova or some matzo ball soup, homemade knishes, or a great deli pastrami sandwich on rye, you know where I go? Grandpa's Cafe in Dania Beach. It's been around a long time, an institution, but a little over a year ago, a pair of New Yorkers came in, bought it, and refurbished the place. It's beautiful, and they are now serving great breakfast, brunch, lunch. They've got the omelets, they've got eggs Benedict, they've got all kinds of great baked goods like rugelach. Grandpa's is just off Federal Highway on Southwest 1st Street in Dania Beach. It's open 7 days. Go in there, tell them that the Lunchbox sent you. When I'm looking for some wicked good food for a wicked good lunch, there's only one place to go. That's Wicked Cheesesteaks in Fort Lauderdale. It's at 4824 North Federal Highway, just south of Commercial Boulevard and across from Holy Cross Hospital. My friend Brian there, he will hook you up with some really tasty treats. They've got cheesesteaks just like the best you can find in Philly, along with lobster rolls, because that's where he's from, Maine originally, and they have wings and pizza and everything you want to have a really good time. Wicked Cheesesteaks, they're open every day but Tuesday. Go in there on a Wednesday. They got buy one, get one on cheesesteaks from 5 to 8 p.m. Check them out online, wickedcheesesteaks.com. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. Back on the Lunchbox, we're at Shenanigan's East Side with Pat Utter. We just had a really nice chat with Dave Hyde, longtime sports columnist from the Sun Sentinel. And it's Monday. We're only 6 days out from Christmas. All kinds of stuff going on. We're on the first day of Hanukkah, the second night. And my fact checker, my brother Burl, chimed in and said I had the wrong connections for the winning horse at Gulfstream on Saturday. It was actually not Chad Brown. It was Mike Maker was the trainer, and it wasn't Klarovich Staple. It was Michael Hui. So apologies to all those connections. But we got a busy week coming up here. We're here at Shenanigans today. Wednesday, we're going to be doing our monthly remote at Even Keel Fish Shack up in Lauderdale by the Sea. Come on out there. Very good place. Brad and Dave will be wishing Brad a belated happy birthday. He celebrated last week. I don't know what number. Thursday, we're hoping to get to Argentine restaurant on Las Olas Boulevard. We're firming that up, but we're hoping to get a Visit Lauderdale remote edition with our friend Nikki Mohan. And that I'm going to be have to say that Greater Fort Lauderdale welcomes everyone under the sun to experience the culinary and all kinds of diversity that we have in the Greater Fort Lauderdale area. We have just tons of restaurants, every cuisine under the sun, every flavor under the sun, more than 4,000 area restaurants that you want to check out, along with so many of the great breweries and craft cocktail lounges, rooftop bars. All these things you can check out. Go to visitlauderdale.com for the latest deals, promotions, events. I saw Nikki out at the big high school football championship game on Friday night where my daughter's team that she cheers for, American Heritage, fell short. It was a great game. They looked totally outclassed early, like it was going to be a blowout against Miami Central.
That's a powerhouse
Central
team.
is
Miami
a
Central.
powerhouse
Central's
team.
ridiculous.
They have
That's
speed.
ridiculous.
They have these guys streaking. They look like Waddle and Hill just going over. And I thought, oh my God, it's going to be a long night.
That's a
it was
great
31-13 at halftime, but Heritage dug in and showed some real moxie, and they made it a game. And they were actually driving for the tying score in the last minute. And they got on a 3rd and 3. The receiver caught it, was going upfield. He made the first down, and then he got stripped and fumbled in the last minute, which is a horrible way to finish a great season. But hats off to Central. They definitely were the champions.
Can I plug Chaminade Lions? Can I say something about Chaminade Lions?
Your son is
JV player. First off, I got to give accolades to this area. You got Miami Central, American Heritage, St. Thomas.
St. Thomas won the 4th in a row.
4th in a row. Great article about the handpicking this great coach they have there. And Damian Jones over there where my son is. My son played JV as a 9th grader, and they traveled all the way out to Vegas to take on a complete powerhouse. that it's just great to see this feeder system and that this great high school level. I
Down
mean,
here,
here we are nationally ranked.
It was an exciting game.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, these games were riveting and great talent.
Yep.
And
you gotta remember,
and
these are high school kids.
They won
These
their
are high
title.
school kids. Yeah.
Chaminade won a title up in Tallahassee the previous week. They didn't get to play in front of the home crowd at Drive Pink Stadium.
No.
But they did go up and get to play, I guess, a national championship or kind of a it was on ESPNU. I came by here on Saturday to watch a little bit. It didn't go the way we wanted for Chaminade Madonna, but they played this team from Las Vegas, Gorman, and
they played Bishop Gorman.
Bishop Gorman was like number 1 or 2 in the country.
Yeah, so Bishop Gorman kind of put a little bit of a hurting on him, but that's all right. When your son goes varsity, they'll turn the table.
Hey, listen, the way I say it is, people don't realize with boxing, football, or any sports, the fact that you even step on the field, I tell my son,
it's a big deal.
The fact that you had the guts. I hear all these people. Oh, this stinks. Well, what sport did you play?
Yeah.
I was on the observing team. Okay, we'll stay on that one.
You won't see me near any football field except with a pen in my hand.
Yeah. Well, that's the whole point. I'm like,
you'll see me at a poker table.
My son gets down on himself, but and you're damn good at it. I see you up on the rankings there.
It's all right. I have my days.
I'm a big fan of you playing poker.
Oh, that's good. Hey, anyway, so visit lauderdale.com. Go check out all the deals, and hopefully we'll see Necky again later this week at that Barry's Grill. We'll firm it up in the next couple, hopefully today. And then, of course, Friday we'll be out at Gulfstream again. Boy, this was fun. We had a lot to talk about.
You get paid to go to Gulfstream, you guys?
Yes,
I want to know how I can get on.
We're waiting for you to join us.
Can I fill out an application there for that place?
You can come out. Definitely sit down with us. We'd love to have you.
I just want to hang around with you.
Your buddy Joe joins us every week, so you should come out.
We're having fun. I can't believe. Yes, this is the life that
we've chosen.
A little bit of food. Again, it's a never-ending battle of the waistline, especially when I'm hanging out here at Shenanigan's East Side. I was here Saturday night with some friends, and we had a great time.
I think you're eating responsibly with this fish sandwich.
Well,
you've actually been good. I've been the one eating all the
potato skin is outstanding.
I love that. There's actually potato. Usually it's just the skin.
Potato.
I'm saying usually they go down to the skin, and it's always missing something. That's like a nice amount of potato. I like that.
Oh, and I got to put in, kind word, Tropical Acres, our friends, the Studio Alley family. Again, today is Monday. It means it's half-price wine night. They have the happy hour going in the bar, 4:30 to 6:30. That's another great deal. And they have their holiday schedule. If you're still looking for a place for Christmas dinner and you don't feel like cooking, if a neighbor is not bringing over lasagna, or you're not lucky enough to have ex-wife like Michelle that's preparing a feast, or a wife like Christine that I'm sure you guys are cooking up a feast, then go to Tropical Acres.
Fish.
Oh, you're doing it. I'm doing the feast of the 7 fish on
that's a tradition.
Christmas Eve.
Yep.
Now, Tropical Acres is closed Christmas Eve, but they're open Christmas Day from 1 to 8 p.m. So you can still make a reservation. Give them a call at 954-925-2500. They're 2500 Griffin Road. And again, their schedule for the New Year's is going to be open New Year's Eve, closed New Year's Day on the Sunday. And go check them out. TropicalAcres.com. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you.
Before we go, someone asked again who was our winner, and Pat, of course, our Magic Touch.
Yeah, Ira Rubin. Ira Rubin. Can I tell anybody that wants to see the Dolphins and have a Christmas dinner? I'm going to have some great hand-cut prime rib dinner, and we're going to have a lot of stuff.
Nice.
You can come on Christmas Day.
What are your
here,
hours? I was just going to ask you your hours.
And then Christmas Eve, we're open to 4 o'clock in the morning at Westside, but we'll be closed on Christmas Day. Okay. But Christmas Day, I'll be here watching the Dolphins play. Yep.
Yeah, the Dolphins play.
Day game,
right
1
here.
p.m.
Yes.
This is the place to be.
The Packers, come on. This is the game we're supposed to win. We need to win this game.
Great value, great meal.
And when you roast up those prime rib and you have it on the platter.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be good.
A delicious thing. Anything else going on promotion-wise in the next
couple
of years?
I got to be candid with you. I'm looking forward to all the components you guys bring up. Great food, great sports, and here we're going to just welcome in 2023 together.
Excellent. Yeah, looking forward to another great, prosperous new year. And everybody enjoy yourselves this week. I know the kids, they're going to be starting to get on their winter break, so people will be traveling. Stay safe. But we'll be here throughout the holidays to bring you cheer and food and discussion. So if you ever get bored, remember, just come on to the Let's Eat group, get onto the South Florida Live channels. And again, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah to all.
Mr. Utter.
We'll be back tomorrow with another edition of the Lunchbox. Thanks to Dave Hyde. Thanks to Pat Utter and the whole crew of Shenanigans. And we forgot to mention our forgotten
Mr.
partner,
Sick.
Defo, get better. He's really
Lay
nursing a
down.
bad laryngitis.
Well, I thought he
Hot
was at an
liquids.
antique.
No.
I
Sadly,
thought he was at an antique convention.
yeah, I
No.
wish.
He
No.
went from the RV. When you get to our age, you go from the RV convention to the antique convention. He's looking at chandeliers
he
right
was,
now.
He was in rough
He
shape.
messed
He
his
said
toe
he
up
rested
and he
all
was sick
weekend.
too.
I
Oh,
didn't
yeah.
get any spy reports about him being at any paramutuals.
No, he
Like he needs to start just gargling with the hot tea and the
Yes.
chicken noodle
Epsom
soup.
salts.
Rest and also get that foot checked out. He is today. I hope
Epsom salts.
they don't have to cut anything off. He mangled his foot at
Oh.
Atlantis in the Bahamas by scraping on rocks, and then his toe blew up. It looks like he's going to be getting medical
He
treatment
wasn't
today.
in the fountain, was he?
No,
Okay.
that wasn't his story. We don't know, but
He's
You never
sticking
know
to
with
it.
Defo, yeah.
get better, Defo. Hopefully, we'll see you again tomorrow, and you'll be back in
Off the
100%
IR.
shape, off injured reserve. Until tomorrow, this is Mike Mayo from Mike Lubie saying to enjoy every sandwich.